episode of Memoir of a Niger Girl. My name is Helen. On today's episode, we're talking about paternity fraud. Paternity fraud is carrying the child of over. You are giving the child to Oshun. That is the child that belongs to a man who decides to give it to another. DNA test is fast becoming a fad in Nigeria, where at the drop of hat, the husband or boyfriend is asking for a proof of paternity. What is accelerating this situation? What is making this situation such a headline right now? On today's episode, we are going to be talking about all of that, and I have a beautiful guest with me in the house. Let's go there. I have Ebulomo Oguntoye. She's an entrepreneur and also a journalist. It's nice.
Long journey away from journalism, though. So maybe I'm dusting it off this year.
You're still there because you can always get something from Uncle. So today we're talking about paternity fraud. What do you think about it?
Okay, first I think the rate is scary.
Right.
Like it just appears that every DNA test comes out negative, or it's supposed to be positive, yeah, but it's negative. 3 children, not for the husband, 2 children. And you're wondering, since when did all this start? It couldn't have been maybe 2 years, 3 years. We're talking about like 20 years, 30 years down the line. Now, the question on my mind is, has it always been there? And we didn't have the mechanism or the know-how to carry out this DNA. Right. Probably some of the generation before us were not of their father. Right. But there was just no way to know anyway. Right. But now that we have the technical know-how, you can just go to the hospital or the lab to get it done. I'm not sure. I just feel that the rate has spiked, except like what I said, we didn't know and we didn't know how to find out then. But in this present generation, it's just scary that it looks like no woman is faithful. Well, coming from a woman, it shouldn't be offensive. Right. I'm saying that is the way it appears. I'm not saying that is the way it is.
So, one time I did, when I was in school, we did this course on psychology. And the man said, what if your dad is not your dad? What if your parent is not your parent? First of all, I understood the fact that, okay, maybe there was a mix-up at the hospital. But if your dad is not your dad and your mom is your mom, and
that's not a mix-up.
That's definitely kind of made me trigger a bit. And of course, everyone in class was like, that's a lie. But now with what is happening in 2020, and Nigeria has a huge percentage of DNA fraud. Do you think that the oil that fuels how should I put it? I have to consult this So if basic trust that always relationship has become a thing of the past, do you think that's it? I mean, for a man to say, I want DNA test, do you think that the trust is not there anymore?
Definitely. For a man to say, I want a DNA test done, it is the highest level of questioning your fidelity. Because it simply means I want to check if you slept with another man. This is not a question of whether you said you were going to Ikeja and you went to Agege. You could easily say, oh, I forgot. I was supposed to tell you I was going to Agege, but I remembered along the line. This is a question of you opened your legs wide and you slept with a man. You were not raped. Because if it were a rape case, you'd have reported. Do you understand? But you slept with a man, you kept the baby, you did not come forth to say, oh, Gao, this is not your baby. You've waited for the child to grow, and now the man has skepticism. So definitely it is trust.
What could trigger that?
So many things. It could be that you see over the years, you cannot keep everything secret. Definitely. Matter of fact, some will tell you that there are no secrets. It's just not time yet. So a woman who has had a lot to hide, or even vice versa, you begin to see their paths are never straight. Because there's always something to hide. You always want to check your trail. You always want to check your back, cover up one thing or the other. You're picking your calls. It's not in the guy's presence. Oni Ogbagbe, you forgot to say Molosi Bikolano. The guy had to see the text on your phone. Tomorrow again, it's happening. There are just too many things to question. It begins from there. Then Omojo Baba Kojo Ya Okojo Kineko. Well, Well, though we cannot use resemblance because in my case, my two daughters look like me. Do you understand? So
I'm still telling you to tell me the secret.
do you understand? So it's just there are some certain things the man would have seen, not being straightforward. Then the kind of maybe group or friends you surround yourself with. You cannot say this is who you are and your friends are like this. You always have things in common with your friend.
The birds of the same feather.
So when you have like 4 friends, close friends, and all of them have extramarital affairs, your man will begin to question, wow, is this babe too not like that? So different things can trigger this kind of thing.
So I have a friend, many years ago, and he said, I want to do a DNA test on my children, And I was like, why? Why? He said, because I went out for a meeting and I saw my friend's wife in the hotel with another man. Of course, first of all, I asked him, what were you doing there? You're married, what were you doing in the hotel? He said, I went for a business meeting. What if she went there for a business? He said they were coming out from the room. But you were going to the room because I don't think...
Wait, Helen, I don't even understand the idea behind having a business meeting in a hotel room. You can have it quite right in a hotel.
Right.
Why in a room? They have kitchen. You could have it in a kitchen. Because the kitchens in the hotel are not like the one in the house. You can have a proper meeting in the kitchen, at your reception, the lounge. Do you understand? There are several spaces in the hotel you can use. Why the room? Because yes, I've been to a place before. I went for a production, and after the production, we couldn't even get it done. Let me not mention the person's name because everybody will know. Yeah, exactly. So he asked my men to go and said he wanted to see me because he picked an interest in what I was doing. Then I was doing women in politics, and so it was going to be, and sometimes we could be naive. So I was in the room with him actually because this man I'm talking about, a respectable man, you want to cower in the presence of men like that and all of that. And I saw it began saying things that were not even related to why he made me wait in the first place. But you see, I got home and told my husband. He was angry that why would you go? But I told him, whoa, me or like I didn't know. I wasn't fast enough to make the right decisions at that time. But at least I got home and told him rather. But I'm saying, let's face the fact, especially now that there are lots of trust issues. You two don't begin to behave like that. I hope you interpret it to your audience. Do you understand? Roast.
Roast.
And it's now to rub the body.
It's not very oiling the body.
Do you understand? Why hotel room? Proper. It's not.
So does that mean people are more promiscuous now due to social relationships?
Okay, well, I would say yes, because we can only deal with the facts and figures. Now we know what is happening in America, although we're not in America.
Definitely.
Because of social media and the internet. And then we feel like these days we are children of our father and our mother. Except someone comes to tell me, anyway, my father is late, so...
I look like my dad.
I know that I have certain characteristics as my dad, like the way I talk, my boldness. Other than that, I'm just the exact replica of my mom. But these days, you see, I think so because we've lost a lot of moral values. Like wanting to stick to a man, we feel is no big deal. We see it as joke over social media, like one guy is for my hair, responsible for my hair. Another one is responsible for my travels. Another one is responsible for certain expenses. Like you just have certain boyfriends to meet certain needs. It's just like the guys are like they are means to an end. You just use them for certain things. So I think these days, with the decadence of moral values, we have more of these issues on our hands than we used to have back then.
And the fact that you probably could go on Twitter or Instagram and you can see naked girls and like, oh, okay, this looks better than what I have at home.
Or just slide into someone's DM. You see, promiscuity is cheap. Cheaper these days. before you could cheat back then, you have to meet the person physically, do certain things. You know, now you don't have to really have actual sex before you start cheating on your partner.
Yeah.
Yeah, your phone is there. You could have, you could sex text. You could do certain things, send nude pictures, do video calls.
Or the fact that you're even having a conversation behind your partner.
Your partner. Whatever is not straightforward, whatever you do with the intention of deceiving is cheating.
Right. It's pressure. Do you think that the whole pressure that we put on women is a factor of what's happening today? The fact that, okay, you are 28, for example. Why are you not married? You should be married. You know, then you're like, okay, but the person I really love is not ready.
That could be a factor. Matter of fact, if there's a lady listening to me out there, do not be pressured into doing anything, because eventually someday you realize you hate the man, you hate the person who pressured you into doing such a thing, because you've lived half of your life not being fulfilled. And you see, before you die, there comes a day you wake up and say, what am I doing here? Why did I even get into? Because you see, marriage in itself or relationship has to do with a lot of patience, sacrifice, endurance, and understanding. You don't want to do that with a guy you don't love or a lady you don't love. Do you understand? I can tolerate my husband's excesses sometimes because I just feel, you are angry, you're mad at him, but you know what brought you guys together. I chose this guy by myself. I made the vows myself. Nobody pushed me into do it. So I should take responsibility for that action of mine. But imagine if I was pushed into doing it. I would always, whatever happens at every point of the way, I would blame the people who made me do that. I would hate the guy himself. So definitely it's a factor. People should not be pressured into doing anything. And see, we should be wiser these days. You're 30, so. You're 32, so. Someday you find a guy you like.
And who likes you in return.
And who likes you in return. Not some guy who just sees you as... They even treat you as trash because they feel... They know how you married them now. So, yeah.
You know, if out of the blues, the man goes for paternity test behind the wife, what state do you think the marriage would be after the whole testing episode?
Hi. Okay. It won't be smooth.
Right.
Because... It's one thing you are questioning my fidelity.
Right.
It's another thing you are questioning the fact that if I can handle it or not. Tell me to my face. That won't be easy too. Yes, it won't be easy because the question is already there. You don't trust me. And if you trust me, you want to do it. So you have now gone to do it behind my back. See, the guy has the mouth to say it. If he comes back negative, he has been vindicated.
Right.
But if the test now come back
positive,
just don't let the wife know.
But
just
what if
keep
she
quiet.
finds out?
If she finds out, it can't be smooth. Whoa, Ọlọ́run wá jẹ́ kí guy yẹn wá ṣe mistake lọ́jọ́ kan. You are in trouble. And yes, now, because at least now you found out that I remain faithful to you. But come to think of it though, faithfulness is not just about all the children being for the husband though. The children might be for the husband and the wife is still doing whatever she wants to do. But now that we're talking about paternity fraud, we should stick to it. It can't remain smooth because there's a whole lot of trust issues going on. The fact that you even want to check, it is okay. Everybody has a right to whatever they think. If you feel you have questions and you want to do a DNA test, it means it's strong enough on your mind to want to do it, and nobody should stop you for that. Nobody should say it's either wrong or right. You have a right to do it, but do not expect to eat your cake and have it. You can't come back to a woman who knows this is what you've just done. Although the woman should not, because of that, leave the marriage. At least the woman has been vindicated. So just give the woman time.
So you are not going to advise divorce? In a case like that? In
a case like that, why? Why would you want to? Except the guy continues to question your loyalty even after knowing. There has to be a reason that pushed the man to do such a thing. And now it has been cleared. Why do you want to divorce? Really?
So what if the kids are not for the man and he's been taking care of them for 17, 18 years?
In that case, it is the man that has to decide what he wants to do.
What do you think he would do?
I can't preempt anybody's action because we have different... He can decide to send the wife and the children packing. But you have trained these children, except if the father is in your space, you can't deal with that.
Yeah.
You might as well just let them go. But in case the man is late, people adopt children. The woman might go because she can't stand her. And you see, it's easy to say, no, you should deal with it. I, as a person, can't deal with that kind of thing because I wake up every morning, I see you, I know that you've wasted my life for like maybe 20 years and you've lived with that lie with me. You could as well kill me.
But you love the kids, and the kids are not the reason.
That's why I said the partner, you can let the person go and train the children, because see, whether you like it or not, for you to have trained a child for 20 years, you are the father. It's not just the sperm that makes a father. What about those who adopt children? You are the father. If I've adopted a baby now and the baby is 20 years old, it doesn't matter if that child finds out if I'm the mother or not. I have taken the position of the mother and it has remained that way.
So on Instablog a few days ago, it was actually last week. So the lady was pregnant and she was, I think it was something that happened in Italy. And she kept telling the guy, this baby is for you, this baby is for you. And all of a sudden the baby, she gave birth last week, and there was another video yesterday. And the guy said, this is not my child, you gave birth to an Oyinbo, that's a white child. This is not my child.
And they are both black.
And they are both blacks. So what do you think pushes a woman to pass somebody else's child on the husband or the boyfriend? Because this doesn't just happen in the marital status. You can
anyway, yes, you don't have to. Honestly, at this moment, I can't wrap my head around why. I can't readily give a reason, because you don't want the guy to father your child. Why are you with the guy? It's not like honestly, I don't know. So let me not just go on blabbing. If you know that you love this guy, you want to do everything with this person, you want to have a future with the person, you want to share something together in terms of children, you want to bring forth children together, but you're with someone and you're having children with another person, I honestly don't know. I know that back in the days, when they find out that, okay, maybe because of low sperm count or infertility generally, women would want to cover up the shame of the family and go out. Most times, it might even be with the consent of the mother-in-law. The son might not even know. And the daughter-in-law just brings the baby and they say, like God has done his miracles and all of that. But no, they did something about it. I know that used to happen, just to cover up the shame of the family and a lot of people poking their noses into the family affairs. But other than that, I don't know why you would want to do that. You know that the person whose baby it is cannot take care of the child. Why are you going? Really, we do not have a genuine reason enough to want to do that. I'm that kind of person. You don't like this person, just leave. You can leave. See, these arguments we still have in my family, my husband and I. And this person, my husband feels I'm quick to say, get separated or divorce somebody. But I say that instead of things to degenerate to the point where you begin to have babies or children outside wedlock, if at any point you find out you can't stand this person again, although the Bible says it's a death do you part, get separated. Because I feel there are greater sins than leaving a guy. Making him sacrifice, labor over children, and at the end of his days, he finds out the kids are not his own. You have done him greater evil than leaving him. He would have found another woman who loves him and is ready to have babies with him. Another thing is, it just came to my mind, this trend of young ladies who, because of money or for something, marry older men.
Right.
And you know that you can't enjoy, the man can't pleasure you the way you want it. Or he's not even available because he's rich. The reason he's rich is because he goes everywhere, he's busy, his schedule is busy. And so there's a younger guy who has all the time, who probably doesn't have the money, and he has lots of energy to expend. And you rather go to that guy. So it's priorities, it's decision. You don't want to suffer. with some young guy somewhere who has the energy to make you pregnant and bring forth baby. So people really want to eat their cake and have it. That's the problem.
Also, I always read all these things online, and you get the Jero Olumofins page where the father-in-law says, okay, these my grandchildren, they don't look like me. They don't look like the husband. They don't look like my son. They don't look like the wife, maybe. Then he went behind them to do a paternity test. Of course, he used his hair or whatever, and it came back that the kids are not for the
samples don't match.
They don't match.
Yes.
Apparently,
so he concluded the children are not for his son.
Apparently, his son doesn't belong to him.
I heard that story. You should have just please, what's this business gone?
I'm sure I was
but
shocked.
That would have been a rude shock to his life, a very rude one, because did that story tell us if the grandmother?
Well, we didn't hear
more
about
we will not be able to judge further on that matter.
Definitely.
Because we should have asked her, Mama, what happened now? Kilo shele gong.
But now, I think things are changing. For example, if you want to get a visa for maybe a stay for your family in the US, I think you have to do some paternity tests and everything. And oftentimes, they always come back that the kids don't actually belong to the man.
That's scary. That's scary because I honestly don't know. It baffles me. And so when we heard this other story of this FCMB,
okay, that one,
and I was just with my husband like, Abofeshe, would you like to have a paternity test? We laughed over it.
Okay.
But the rate at which things are going, some men who never used to doubt their wives could do that because of the rates. It's so high, like 1, 2, 3, 4. You see, when we're talking about that, my neighbor came back to say there's an issue right now. A friend discovered. You see, the wife didn't know. The wife didn't know that the husband had issues with fertility. He had been to the hospital. He was treating himself. The doctors told him it was going to take a while. Not that it wasn't going to be able to produce children, but it was going to take a while. And so he didn't feel the need to tell the wife. Do you understand? That is another issue on its own. But he just felt, 1 year, 2 years, since I'm treating myself already, it shouldn't be a bother. But in the first year, the lady got pregnant.
Wow.
And so he felt the treatment had worked. So he went back to the hospital to say, my wife is pregnant. But the doctor said, no, not that fast. We're not talking about 1 year, 2 years. Not that fast. So the wife, within the space of that time, had 2 babies.
Wow.
So, and the husband knew these children are not mine. It was the 3rd baby.
That was fine.
So eventually, because the wife had done that with the 2 babies, the first 2 babies, he wasn't even sure the last one was his own. So he had to go get DNA tests done, and eventually he came back. The first 2 not his own, the 3rd one his. And the man is just there living with the wife. So I told my neighbor, he's your friend. Are you sure you want him to continue living like that? Because he'll just wake up someday and you hear a man kills his wife. Because he's living with a big deal. A very big issue. But you see, there's another part to it again. There was a date, I joke a lot. So I was saying that, women have made a comeback for men. No? Maybe before, it used to be a man marries 100, or a man dies and like 5 children just come from outside.
We belong to him.
We belong to him, or we will share the will together. And so the women, they have come back with serious armor, like
they've actually had it all this while. They've had it all this while.
Sorry, we're not supposed to be laughing about this. But you see, when it gets to a certain point and you are really confused about the trend of things, you just have to laugh over it. But then, I don't find it easy. My conclusion about this whole issue is you don't like this person, because if you really, really like this person, it doesn't, even your friends, you don't want to hurt your friends that you really, really, really like. Not to now talk of someone you wake up with every morning, your partner, your husband.
The old mother-in-law thing is another reason, I think, First of
pressure.
all, pressure. You know that the husband in Nigeria, for example, we always say obìnrin. You know, we always put the old pressure on the woman. Maybe the woman is fine, and the problem is from your son.
The man.
Now you're not going to say, let's go for count. They start giving you oil to drink from church. They start telling you you are barren.
You see,
barren.
that thank God mine. Well, this is not to spite some that are still waiting over a period of time, like maybe that still don't have issues yet. But I stayed for like 3 years before having my first daughter. And it wasn't like I used contraceptive or anything. We were having sex, but the baby wasn't coming. And my mother would just say, Ebun, I just really want to know what to do. Is it that you guys are waiting, you want to take your time, or it's not just coming, so I will know what to do? But you see, there was a day someone came and said, kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nípa oyún níní gan?
What's happening?
And my husband wanted to answer, hey, madam, jẹ́ kẹ́bùn fún rẹ̀ fẹ́nu ara ẹ̀ down. And I'm like, me understand. Kó fẹ́nu ara ẹ̀ down like she's...
You are the one who...
You see, there was a particular wedding I was stopped from attending because I wasn't pregnant yet. So you can imagine someone who has not given birth for and has been married for like 6, 7, 10 years. I have a friend's sister who just gave birth after 10 years of marriage. So there are these issues, and we know that they are real. A lady who doesn't have the mind enough could be tempted to say, but I don't think if the pressure is too much, your husband should be able, especially if it's coming from your in-laws, if the husband is responsible enough, should be your shield. If the mother is attacking you all the time, if the guy really loves you, he should be able to stand up to his mother to say, is it God? Is she God rather? Will she make baby? See, even medicine cannot explain these things.
Definitely.
Sometimes the husband might be okay, the wife is okay. They don't just know why the babies are not coming. And we've heard stories like that. So I hope maybe some mother-in-laws are watching us right now. You should calm down. What if the girl is yours? Would you have behaved the same way? Would you pressure them the same way? See, having a male child is not a privilege. It doesn't put you in the place of God. So just calm down. Yes, it doesn't put you in the place of God.
You know when you say, applaud his head. Thank you so much for this wonderful discussion. I know I'm supposed to call you Ebu.
Yeah, I'm
Ebu. I'm not used to it.
I'm Ebu, I know.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
It's
Helen.
so wonderful to have you.
You're
Guys,
doing a good job.
First of all, I know you can hear that dun, 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 cough, cough, cough every time we have a beautiful girl in the house and she's making sounds. We can't stop them. The baby, so cute. That is it on today's episode of Memoir of a Naija Girl. My name is Helen. Follow me on social media, helen.love.23. Memoir of a Naija Girl on Instagram, on Facebook, yeah. And also on YouTube. Thank you. Love you.